met Ramzy about 2 years ago. He has a beautiful farm out in Centerville, which is on the West Island, just before that bridge that's always falling down. And I think this year, they're going to tear down that bridge. So that's going to be another thing. So while his farm it has a French name, but it's called the hickory tree. And I told him in our language, it's called Ononokra. So he told me he's going to change the name of his farm to a Mohawk name. So that's really, really good. He's getting in tune. In his greenhouse, he showed us a 60-foot long tomato plant. It went up this way, it went this way, then he circled back like this. And then he's also specialized in microgreens. And I don't think he's into cannabis. He was talking about nickel and dime bags at one time. That's the other kind of green. So hey, we're having fun here. So anyways, Ramzy's the second. Let's give a big hand here.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you. Okay. Anyway, the name Carya it's Latin, but it means hickory, which is there's 11 type of trees, and at the same time it's an Arabic name. It means community. It means village. So like I'm from a Lebanese descent. You know, I've been living in Montreal for a long time, but it's but I love like the plant, the community, and the individual that makes this community. It's formed this one. So from the beginning, we have an idea about the name to represent everybody that is participating in agriculture. So, but first I want to thank the Mohawk Council of Ganawagi for organizing such an amazing event. And it's hope to continue this one and elaborate and progress into many, many fruitful projects that we can collaborate together. And specifically, my dear friend, I'm going to call him Silver Bear. Silver Bear, okay? So Steve and like really came and we were learning a lot from the indigenous, and we're talking about the Mohawk perspective of doing things and stuff like this. So it's really, it's very enriching for me as well. And the other thing is like just my story is like it's a little bit, you know, I came here and civil war happened in Lebanon. You know, everything got destroyed. So I came and I started to study, but I end up in the stock market. And I phoned my dad, and he says, "What is the stock market?" And he says, "Stay there." So I made a career of 25 years trading stocks and bonds and shuffling paper and getting paid. But in the end, like, it doesn't create anything tangible for our community, for our society. So it was like it's a big epiphany for me. In 2007, I sold everything. I left the whole thing, and I don't trade in the stock market at all. And I had the land in the West Island that I bought in '96, and it was like to develop on it houses and stuff like this. And I decided to activate agriculture project on the island of Montreal in a residential area. And this is and the rest is history. And this is where Carya has began its journey. So this is a little bit about my background. And so this reactivating of land, you first face with the resistance and the opposition. Why you're doing something like this? So like we have like an opinion about farming and agriculture. It's something like we have to get some people from abroad to do this job for us. But farming and agriculture is actually the basis for a culture. It's the basis for building community. It's the basis of connecting all together. So I took it with this vision from the beginning. Like all the work that Steve was saying, that we did the microgreen, we did tomato with this one, but really there's a dedicated group who believe in this vision, who are like almost 20 people with us. that we started this at the beginning against all challenges, is to change. Like we wake up in the morning to change, like and have an impact on the food system that we're dealing with, and is eliminating the inequity and injustice for farmers, and evaluate the job of the farmer. You know, like what is the farmer, he or she can play a role in changing the community. And if we don't do that, apparently, you know, like, I mean, really, we are in deep trouble if we don't resurface this one. So we want to have like a better compensation for farmer, to consider farming as something, I'm growing food for you every day. And the architect built me a house once in my life, and he gets paid a lot of things, you know, like, and the doctor, you know, I mean, but the farmer is growing your food every day. So what we want to do is like really, like COVID, when it came in, it put into like one of the positive thing about COVID is the essential jobs in the community that need to be remunerated, like the nurses, like the delivery guys, like the guys who can, or girls that grows our food, and so on and so forth. So this is, in a nutshell, 2 lines. We put the vision. We wake up every morning to impact the food system. We want to change it, and we want to be equitable to farmers and ecological to the environment. And that's it. Now, how the farm grows from 2000, I started in 2008 to 2010. So it took a lot, like, I mean, like we're 2023, almost 15 years. And the struggle is still difficult, you know, like to make a living as a farmer. So we're changing the model. So we decided to approach it from a different perspective. I mean, like Dan talked to you about a lot of details about farming and how to do the whole process, Dan Brisbois at Tournesol. And there was a model for us to really adopt early at Carya as well. And like, I don't want to tell you the same details about how we grow the stuff. It's almost similar to what Dan doing it. And they were the model for a lot of farmers because they started in 2004. And we took a lot of the stuff from them and their know-how, and we shared it with other farmers. And there's about 400 or 500 farms that does the same thing in Quebec right now. And so I'm not going to go. I'm going to go a little bit about what is the role of the individual, what is the role of the community, and what is the role of the institution to play into creating a new food system. That new food system is rigged, you know, like it's like we don't, like it doesn't, I mean, I've noticed because I was in the stock market when I came into this one, and I really worked so hard, like from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock at night sometime, and nobody wants to pay for it, and we could not make a living. And the reason why is like it's the food is being commoditized, you know, like it became a commodity. The 3 big farms in the world that controls it, and like and we don't, like, I mean, we have no say in it. And the fair wages that even you pay in Mexico, you don't, I mean, like, it's okay coming cheap to us, but we're exploiting somebody somewhere. So like Carya does not hire like people from abroad. So we have all local people, university degree, graduate from in agriculture. And we really want to create that model that can have a compensation that is adequate to pay your bills and stuff like this. So we decided to take inside the farm itself something what we call like the marketing and sales to be done by us. So eliminate the middleman completely. So like it's enough of this one. They come to you and they say, I'll pay you 30 cents a pound, 40 cents a pound for carrots. I'll buy all your crop and you don't have to worry about anything. And after that, they sell it to another distributor, and they sell it to a third distributor. And when it comes to you as a consumer, it's $2 a pound. So the farmer is always poor, and everybody abandoned that job. So we want to, so there's a kind of a resurrection now almost of the going, what we call like going back to the land. And it's a global movement. So you need to establish like 3 major principle if you want to start some kind of a new agency, a new institution, a new model of farming. The first one that we have integrated into Carya is like unity. You know, like it's this principle of unity is no longer that there's us and them. You know, like it's only us. It's the human being, and this is everybody sitting on the table can participate, and this is what we're doing on a regular basis, a daily basis, to sit down on the table, and each one of us, the individual, or the group, or the perspective, is a protagonist and need to be taken. We don't know how to change, but we can change it together. We don't know that's what the solution, but our unity is a very, very important principle to have some kind of a success in building a new institution, or in this case, in my case, I'm talking about a new food system. The second thing is justice. You know, like I mean, we can't continue of having a population have like a prosperity and other don't. So this kind of just or like certain kind of profession is highly nominated and paid tons of money, and some don't. So we want, at least for me and the food system, we want to have a very adequate, good compensation for farmers. Farmers need to be paid the price of growing healthy food for our children, healthy food for our hospital, healthy food for our community, and healthy food for our for children and garderie and all this stuff. And the third one, which is really like a third principle that you really need to have it in your mind all the time, is the issue of you know, like the stewardship of in the environment. Like, I mean, I'm talking, and this is like maybe we learned a lot from the Mohawk and from other. Like, I mean, I was in Mexico and I was dealing with with the group of the Teotihuacan, you know, the descended from the Mayan and the Aztec, and they were telling me, I mean, it's not a sustainability issue that everybody is talking to us about a sustainability, but really we need to take that perspective that I mean, I'm learning a lot about it, is the reciprocity. The reciprocity, you take from the land, you need to give back. You can't take from the land, take from the land, and take from the land to the point that, like, I mean, like the world is not sustainable anymore. So Dan talked about the, like he relaxes some land, you know, like for a year, and he does a green manure or compost, and he let it settle. We're losing an alarming rate agricultural land in the world that we don't have. We are going inside and we're growing vertically, and we are growing hydroponically. But if we don't grow the food in soil, which is, for me, is like I don't want to grow it otherwise. So I need to nurture the soil. I need to protect the soil. I need to like respect the soil, you know. So I cannot afford like to put a seed in it and it's not healthy. So like really like our body the same thing. So we develop an immune system because we're healthy, so we can fight diseases. But the same thing on the soil, and this stewardship of the soil is the Mother Earth that needs to be what I call like a stewardship, you know, and dealing with the environment. And this is and it really goes to these three principles, and it's not a money equation, or like what is the damage for this company or that company if they don't do these things. So now we are like we have pesticide that is against pesticide, and the weeds are getting stronger and stronger, and we put more pesticide, and we know that the pesticide is killing our children, and it's really now it's a scientific fact that is not good for us. So we really need to eliminate it out of our system and go forward. So this is our like the vision need to have those three. So so the other thing is, I mean, if there's any question on this one, because I want to go to the microgreen, because Steve asked me to talk about the microgreen as well. So if there's no question, I can show you a little bit about the microgreen.
Not so much a question, but maybe something else to consider as another component for your vision. is we do nothing that would adversely affect the future generation.
Okay, do nothing that is, okay, so this is beautiful. So something that governed me, governing me, is not to change anything that is impacting negatively the future.
Exactly.
It's amazing. I mean, we'll add it. That's it. Please.
Yeah. When you talk about having a difficult time making a living as a farmer, maybe we need to change the model, which you're trying to do right now. So maybe if we look at the end user, consumer, wanting a particular product, for instance, from a particular manufacturer who has a deal with you to buy all of your goods to produce a product. So we make the manufacturing process a cooperative, and we funnel those dollars back through the consumer to the farmer. So the manufacturer themselves, will support the sales, the marketing, and the brand manufacturing, right? And the consumer will spend less on their product, right? But those less dollars, even though there are less dollars, will come back into the manufacturing, and then have a contract with you for more dollars, so you can improve your business.
This is I mean, there's a lot of, that's what the beauty of no us and them anymore. And each one of us has ideas. And I love to, I love to really, we will sit down and we can elaborate and find, how do we fine tune this food system? Go ahead.
Yeah, because in my community, we don't have much arable land, and we're talking about sustainability. Well, we have resources on the outside of our community. We have many farmers who are, I guess, following the old model of monoculture. So we contract those farmers to supply a manufacturing value-added business in our community, right? We have the customers because we do all the marketing and sales, and we pay them more to grow for us. Yeah. So we tell the guys like McCain and everyone else who owns the potato business, right, or the chicken business, right, and who are putting downward pressure on the farmer, right?
Yes.
Right. So we're telling the farmer, you know what, we're gonna give you more money to support our business, not their business.
Exactly. I mean, this is the more and more of this needs to be happening in our communities, and the reason why, for example, I just give you the role of the government. For example, government is, it's they take the taxes, they go to santé publique, and in santé publique, $100 million budget goes to food bank. And every, in Montreal, there's 30 tables de concertation, and they go with those $300,000-$500,000 to food bank, and those responsible for the food bank, they go and they buy processed food. I mean, I didn't say it, but it's true. I'm telling you. And they even the expiry date on the supermarket with my money, and they dump it on the stomach of the most vulnerable. So we went to them and we told them, I'm willing to have a network of farmers. Give me the money, the farmer, and I'll get you twice a week a delivery of fresh produce to your community. And we did it in Lachine, and we did it in many, before COVID, used to be 1 in 10 in Montreal suffering from food insecurity. Now, after COVID, is 1 in 4. So there's 27% of Montrealers are not able to eat at this moment. So, and all this system is the food system and all this bank food and food bank and so this, it's a game, but it's not benefiting the farmer, and we're not growing fresh produce. So this is what I'm saying. What's the role? I mean, for the technical growing farming and what Dan explained to us, there's a lot of know-how. How do we teach it anywhere? It's not that difficult. There's an internship, and there's a lot of subsidies. The farmers now has developed a skill that is really, we can produce large quantity of food. Muscle. We are able to do healthy, certified organic, short-term delivery. Not to go long distances. Nurturing and feeding our own community. We can do it. So those technical things, that's why I just said to Steve, I can talk to you about this one, but that knowledge is there, and our responsibility to share it. Like, I mean, yes.
I get that, but when we go back to the original question I asked Dan prior, what type of inflationary pressures are we talking about? You know, you can feed a lot of people doing what you're doing, and the cost of food continues to rise. The cost of input continues to rise. The cost of shipping continues to rise, right? But wages haven't.
Yeah.
So when you said a livable wage, what does that mean?
And I mean, so far at the farm, like we started like with $12. Right now, we pay our staff between on average $19.25 an hour, and we're hoping that we every year we are learning how to change the model to we want to reach like the objective is to pay as a decent wage, like $25, $30. I mean, I like you have to really create those model of farming and like after COVID, if you're not innovator and if you are not cooperating with others, you're dead in the water. This is like it's a fact. We really need to find a new way. But like the farm changed many times in the last 15 years, and we can. I mean, like an input from the community can give us even more, like in adopting this dimension of don't touch the future for future generation negatively. You're okay. So this is like it's an amazing principle. Go ahead.
So with the price of inflation, if wages occur, it's going to put a lot of downward pressure on your farm.
Uh,
And a living wage, regardless of inflation, is not going to be a living wage because you've got all the taxes. You know, I'm gonna go to your farm and use my vehicle, right? You're gonna pay me a wage, right? I gotta come home. I gotta pay for that gas. I gotta pay for my apartment. I gotta pay for my food, and I gotta buy all my value-added tax inputs. So I mean, even a living wage today is not a living wage
okay.
because the government takes it all anyway.
Because this inflation is it's a gimmick, you know, like because everything you buy in Montreal here, we import. So like it's shipping cost, you know, like I mean, there's so many costs that I don't need to incur. So that's why it's the local economy, you know, like the local economy is a very important issue. Like it's happening in Lebanon. It's an agricultural land. They can produce anything. They import 90% of the stuff from outside. They made the economy as dependent on outside. So if a price hike happens somewhere, oil goes up to $100. You know, we pay the price, and they call it inflation. What is my cost to ship it from? I'm in Centerville. My farmers market is in Saint Anne de Bellevue. 10 minutes. The client, the community saved that. So that's what I say. Carya's prices are anti-inflation. You know, because it's all designed to depend on the world economy, which is with no respect for developing local economies. Just in case a crisis happens, like the COVID, the Americans shut the border, so you can't get anything. Montreal have only 40 days of inventory in it. 40 days.
That's my point. We're so reliant on the world right now.
So you can develop a local economy that the same dollar can circulate within us. Like you're saying, you're trucking. I mean, at the farmers market, like from 9 to 2, 1:30, we ring the bell, and the bell says, "Okay, let's trade with each other. I can get my cheese, he gets my salad, the guy gets me my honey, and we can create a very vibrant market where the children are there, the community are there, and everybody's trading, and it's a strong dollar. Is my salad? What am I going to do with the salad? It's going to go bad. So we are 30 farmers in Saint Anne that we are exchanging and developing this relationship, and the community comes in there too. So there is it's kind of like creating this new food model. It's not a difficult thing to do, but it's like everybody said you're dreaming, you know, like the forces are against you and all this thing. But I can tell you one thing: I'm an observer for trend, like for the world. You know, the world is at its lowest point, and it's like looking at the abyss. No countries in the world at this moment is not suffering from the same problem that we're suffering here. The way that we are governing ourselves is very difficult. So really, I can't change the world, but at least I can change my community. But I can tell you there's so many people doing the same thing I do, globally. You know, like, I mean, I can see it when I was in Puebla, you know, and I mean, like, it's farmland, and it's what an incredible agriculture system there. But they want to commoditize it, and they don't want to give it to the people, and they ship it outside. And using it, they pay them $30 or like $30 a month for all that work. So this is like, it's injustice, the way we govern our relationship between nations, and we really need to eliminate completely, in my opinion. I mean, there's other partners with me. They're very, like, I mean, they believe in the same thing. But I mean, this vision is, like, when I'm talking like with Ryan Young, I mean, Ryan Young is on a municipality in San Andy Bellevue. So it's government. But what's their role? I mean, like, to support me. What is the role of Centerville? What's the role of City of Montreal to support this one? So we are really, last 10 years, we developed some kind of a dynamic where the institution, individual, and community can play. And now we created something what we call a hybrid farm. So to answer your question, a hybrid farm is the farmers are busy growing stuff. They're laboring the field. They got kids to raise. They need to meet tuition. They need to do shopping and all this thing. So we created a nonprofit. It's called the Pôle Logistique de Agricole de l'Ouest de l'Île. It's an entity. It's a legal entity. And this nonprofit, job is to ship, sell the stuff, and package it for the farmer. And instead of paying us the full cost, so we divide it by 10 farmers. So we give them like maybe 5%, 10%. But this OBNL is attracting a lot. Like, I mean, there's a lot of money that it can go channel to the government and stuff like this. So now we are like, I invite you to come and see it, because we can create it so many places, because this relationship between an institution who government support local initiative, and they're not supporting it because they want to help us. Because if they don't support it, really the like unrest in the street is going to happen, like in France. Like it's gonna be creating. We have to create a prosperity for everybody, and if you continue feeding the population, what did you call it? Chips. Oh, chips. Okay. Or the other. So anyway, it's like it's costing them as healthcare. So that's why the healthcare system is collapsing. So we really need we need to encourage now initiative where you can have farmers that grows diversity of crops and high quality, freshly harvested, like Dan said, ship it the next day to the children in a garderie, to a food bag, and to our community in general. And now we added the hospital. So this is a big initiative. The government, we need to change the government in terms, I mean, like their policies. So like they send a letter, the Legault government, it's like all public institutions, they take 10 to 15% of their budget need to be bought local. So there is a kind of a trend. So that's some money. I mean, they all buy it from everywhere, somewhere else. From Cisco, there's a huge corporation control the food in the world, and we have no choice. So now we're changing. This is actually a physical project, and it's not a dream. And that's why I'm saying, what is the role of the institution to play in supporting this initiative? And we need to say to everybody, you can't give me a plan top down and tell me this is that you should live this way. You know, we really need to start the grassroots, building our own institution, and have the community supported. Like in our case, you know, like this CSA, community supported agriculture. You know, we can, for the seeds, we can create a model of community supported agriculture. So the individual, so we can raise $100,000 in January to start the farm. And they do it through basket. We do it through market membership. I have it here. You know, the CSA market membership. This is people from the community. They advance you, share. And I don't give them a basket. They just show up in the market. I don't have to do the work, but they have I have a lot of vegetables in Sanaa, and they come and make their own basket. And it continue, and this is, and what is the role of the institution? So we can actually influence. The institution, their job is to support the betterment of the community, and not vice versa. They said this is the community should be living this way. So this is now, it's like we take the table and we put it upside down, and we really now, I think the food is a good place to go and start, and this is my passion, and I'm still having a hard time getting paid properly. Imagine, the resistance on this one. Yeah, go ahead.
I personally think that the province of Quebec has started, but they're not gone far enough.
Exactly.
Because my wife and I, we will not buy produce outside that's not grown inside Quebec. That's a start. If we had opportunity to buy more local, we would. We go to our neighbors in the summer and we get produce there directly from the farmer. In my opinion, why should I pay the grocer to do virtually nothing? He doesn't even put it on the shelves half the time. Somebody else does it for him. Why should I give him a profit, then the guy that delivers it a profit, and then the trucking company a profit, and whoever managed the big warehouse all the way down to the farmer like you, they say, okay, we'll give you 10 cents, and it costs me $4 at the end. Yeah. And everybody's getting fat in the middle. So I think if Quebec did a better job at their campaign about buying local, if a quarter of the population of Quebec said, that's it, we're done, we're buying local only, they're going to feel it in California. They're going to say, what's going on? Eventually, it will force the market to drop its prices. Or they'll do what they did during COVID. Let it sit and rot in the field. But they could only do that so long before they run out of money.
Yeah, but the water issue and all those things that we talked about it, like in the summer when it comes, this is where the lettuce, because it doesn't come from California anymore because they can't grow it, because they lack of water. So what I'm trying to say is really like social economic project. And consider Le Petit Jardin as a social action. Carya, Tournesol, these are real models that has been introduced to the community. And I can tell you, the last 15, 20 years, there's a change. People want to support these things. Before we don't care, especially now that the planet, is really on the verge of shutting down the whole thing. It's a little bit scary that mankind it's forced to this need to adopt some changes. But meanwhile, I'm not interested in saving that disintegrated model. And I don't want to waste any inch of my capacity saving it, because it's going down and it's irrevocably cancerous. So what I want to do is really build with the CrossFit new model. And it may be like what you said, build it in a way that does not impact or be negative for the future generation. So I can share with you initiative happening in Quebec and around it, even around Montreal. And I know with Gabrielle, with Valerie that talked yesterday, we've been talking with each other for a long time. So we need to have a collective effort. This is where the initiative, and I can share a lot with it. And we're already working with Steve to do some seeds growing now at farms in the West Island as well, or maybe vice versa. We come back here. So those are the seeds for building those institutions. And now the government, they're really, they're not resisting anymore. Why? Because the population are voting them up, and they said, okay, if my daughter, I have 3 kids and my 2 daughters, as a generation, I think I failed to support the planet properly. But those young generation now, I can assure you, this is the most important the generation, like, I mean, all the youth, the children, the junior youth, and all this, these are they have a better sense of protecting the planet than us. And they really feel it. And this is what we're leaving it to them anyway. So I think we should integrate them in in our institution building. And I feel like it's the model of Les Jardins Carya, the model of Tournesol, the model of, remind me of the name of the farm? Yeah, what's the name of the farm? And Valerie and everybody, there's so many other farms that exist like this. And they're really, it's called, you can find them on a co-op. It's called a CAPE, Co-op Agricole de Proximité Écologique, which is really, we start having muscle. And we're member of this co-op since its inception. And now we have like kind of negotiation power. So we can talk to the government, we can lobby to the government. But anyway, it's a constructive resistance, if you want, building new economic project or social project or whatever, and at the same time get the perspective. Really, like, do not get to me and tell me that I know the solution and this is the way I'm going to do it. We really need to do it as a community.
Just out of interest, I'd be interested in hooking up your network with, I think they have a Facebook page, they're called Les Amis du Québec, the Friends of Quebec, and they're a collective of people, not only in the agricultural field, but in every sphere of life.
Okay.
Because personally, and a lot of these people, they don't have faith in Legault and him managing his campaign when he's probably sold out to multinationals and whatever, and I don't have much faith in Trudeau either. And as he said, it's a system that's falling apart, it's a cancer, but at the same time we should rejoice about this because we're initiating and we're building the new world, a more sustainable world. And it's called Les Amis du Québec.
I wrote it down.
And in different fields, like it's a trading system and things like that, and it's just honestly, I think.
Very good. So I'm going to continue a bit here on the microgreen, okay, because Steve is like, because I titled microgreen. Anyway, microgreen is any seed you throw in soil, doesn't matter what seed it is, it gives you the first two leaves. And it's called cotyledon, and those two first two leaves contains the genetic makeup of the entire plant that you see. And they are 10 times, maybe sometimes 50 times with cabbages, more nutritious than the actual cabbage fruit when it comes. And what happens when the seed comes in, and you can see it, the first two, between them, there's a third leaf. And those two dies, they kind of sacrifice themselves for the betterment of, like what parents do with children and so on. This is nature at its best. They die, they transfer everything to the third leaf in the middle, and it becomes your sunflower plant or a broccoli plant, and beautiful, beautiful phenomena. So microgreen is like, we don't let the third leaf come. We want to eat those first two leaves. So it's very, very healthy for us. They're active. They rebuild the system, even construct our cells sometimes. They're like in the sunflower sprouts, and they're all grown in soil. So I kind of fell in love with microgreens and I learned it on YouTube. And now we are growing it in like 100 to 150 kilo every week, and we would like to, because we can grow it all year long. So even like we designed like fava beans plus sunflower and pea shoot, and added some radishes in it. Like made a PJ mix, like the Petit Jardin mix, and put an amaranth as well, and it becomes like a salad. So you can eat it as a salad in the winter. So, and there's 28 vegetables that we grow like this. And it's,
And you even do corn sprouts, right?
yeah, we do corn sprout as well. So the microgreen is, I just want to read you, because I left you some pages to consult on it here. It's in French and English. And a microgreen is an edible plant that is raised and harvested during the first few days of its life cycle. Most of our micros are harvested within 10 to 12 days of seeding. This produces a nutritious and flavorful. I mean, you can taste the arugula, you can taste the cabbage, you can taste beets. It's crazy how how powerful, and is really like a lot of nutrition are packed into it, and like some like for the microgreen sprout, like microgreen of broccoli, for example. If you, it's got a chemical that's naturally produced by the, it's called sulforaphane, and the sulforaphane is like, it's magical what it does to our stomach. It eliminates, I mean, even antibiotic won't eliminate those bacteria, but they are some kind of like a healing vegetable that I couldn't believe. I mean, this is what we're trying to say. Like, what is, like, I mean, there's so many delicious and healthy products, but can we grow it ourselves all year long, every 12 days? So I decided, I left the list here. You can, at the end, you can, because it's a little bit technical, and we have what we call open source. So there's no knowledge is contained for us. We can share it. So I can do a workshop, you know, and with my, like, I mean, we have about 5-6 people works on the microgreen production. We have like a 2,000 square feet, all vertical, and LED light in soil, and it's constantly in production. To do a workshop here, like, I mean, I talked to Steve on this one, and you can just put, if you're interested in registering for that workshop, will be for free. You know, it's like, this is, it's like sharing knowledge with each other. And it's, you just put your name, and I can get back to you later on, and I can do it. Yes?
I did a seed sprouting workshop a few years back at the environment office. But we got our seeds from the store, but it's not as economical when you have to buy a package of seeds. So I didn't know where to get more seeds to have a larger, you know.
It's mom's seeds, and we have like, we found like 2 in Canada. It's all certified organic in Winnipeg, and there's some.
So it's a bit larger volume.
Yeah, we can buy a bag, like there's like 10, 20 kilo, 30 kilo, and you can share it. But if you want to do it commercial, it's a different story, because I can teach. But I wanted to like, I mean, food, we should grow it
Well,
ourselves.
it was just to introduce them that you could do this in your house on the counter and.
Yeah, I almost brought some myself. I thought my talk is at 10 and I couldn't have time, but I could have picked up a lot of stuff on the way from the farm. But next time, but I would love to really, like, because it's so easy, but it's technical, and we accumulated almost 8 years of knowledge. Like even my son wrote the manual, so we can share it with others, so you can produce it. Because the problem in our society now is like we don't have enough producers to produce. The demand is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And since I was in the stock market, I think investing in farmland, investing into farm stock, investing in seed company, supporting like even growing your own food in your own garden and stuff like this. It's a 100-year trend. You know, like I'm telling you, like it's a next 100 year. We're changing how to eat our food. You know, like from like people motivated just to make and maximize profit for the shareholders, and now people are what we call it the slow money movement. You know, like and which is I am part of it, and I want to promote it more. Versus the fast money movement. The fast money movement, I can destroy the planet, I can destroy the environment, I can exploit the worker, but as long as I can stand up in a board in a shareholders meeting and I say, I made you profit this 3 months. So this is finished. This is we don't want to do that anymore. And the bottom line, not the profit. The bottom line is the bottom line, which means the soil. It's the earth. So this is a new one. It's not business as usual. I mean, like people say, oh, business is not business as usual. I can assure you it's not business as usual, because it's hitting like really like it's a big mess. It's a chaos. It's almost like the darkest hour before the dawn, you know, like, and really like, I mean, the community and the people that I meet with them every day, and I don't know, Ryan, he's a teacher at John Abbott. He's got a radio show at McGill, and he's a member of the Council of San Anne de Bellevue, but he's always connecting people. Like he connected me with Steve. I mean, like the human being now is more sensitive. My daughter, you know, like she's throw anything that is not good for me to eat, you know. I mean, it's like there's more awakening. So maybe we should really now believe that we can do something, but together. Not like my idea is better than your idea, and your idea is better than, is eliminating completely the disagreement, and admit that we don't know the solution, and together in unity we can find it. So if I'm gonna leave that sheet here, and I just put your name, and Steve will send it to me, and we can organize a date. Either we can do it at the farm, or we can do it. I'll do it here at your convenience. So quickly, I want to finish the thoughts here. So I talked about the role of an individual. You can support local. You can support local and organic, sustainable food producer. I mean, you found farmers. I know Randy. So I want to support Randy's farm, and he's growing all kind of stuff in here. And there's the institution of supporting this, and they're giving the food. But we can develop that model more and more to become like every member of the community have a share of this basket of the harvest, and they all can contribute to it. So this is the role of the individual. The education is very important. Like it's understanding the connection between food and the environment. So we really need at early age teach our kids, you know, like how important not to food waste, how important to grow your own food. What is a carrot? We bring kids to the farm, and we ask them to pull a potato plant. And it's like you can see their eyes. They can't believe that the potato is underground and like the whole plant. And there's a mother potato is like it's like rotten, but support like to have like about 20, 30 other potatoes. So the children it has to be connected with the earth, and we need to be conscious of it. And I think there's a kind of like a thirst to do that. So education is very important. The role of community, building local food network. Like I mean, like for us, like with Dan and Carya, community-supported agriculture it's a proven model. Like a CSA, is like everybody can buy basket ahead of time, advance the money to the farmer. He can grow you the share, and he can give it to you every week at a community center or at the farm. The second one is community garden and urban farming. Because there's a lot of this stuff here, like because we destroyed so many lands, so we're trying to encourage community gardening. It's happening, and it's going to be mainly supported by the institution. Role of the institution, creating incentive for sustainable and equitable farming practice. So really, like we give incentive to big companies. You come and establish yourself here, $250 million tax exempt, you know, and all this thing. But for this initiative of creating what we call equitable farming process, there should be an incentive by the institution. Like I mean, encourage young people to train. We have a lot of youth. They finish like children, students. They finish university in agriculture from McGill, because our farm is beside McGill. And they do an internship. So the internship at Carya is 3 credits, you know, for their course as well. So it's really like in the vital renewal blood of the farm is written by those youth, because they're the beautiful mind, and they have the creativity and the innovation. So if we don't get this constant blood of young, creative, innovative young people who are interested and passionate about farming, so we need to give them incentive. So there's a lot of this initiative are happening now. Ensuring fair labor. I mean, they really like this fair labor is a big issue. It's not like, I mean, it's almost like a slavery, but in a golden shackles. You know, like it's like we don't have time to do anything else, and it's really happening at, I mean, like worldwide, and even at I mean, like to dominate our life without having the freedom to work for the betterment of our society, and not just to work to pay the bills. And they want, and we transformed our life into this one. So we need to re-examine that, and encouraging collaboration for sustainable food system, like what we're doing with Steve now in the Ganawage, and we can really have like this relationship that Ryan has initiated. And I think we don't know how many other collaboration we can do, but we should really support it. And finally is the conclusion, emphasize the interconnectedness of individual, community, and institutional actions. Encourage participants to reflect on their personal role as well, what they can do for the community, and inspire hope and motivation to work together for more equitable and ecological food system. So this is my talk, and I'm sorry if I'm a little bit, but I'm really, like, it's a little bit tough and difficult for the last 15 years, but using a stock market terminology, I'm very bullish on humanity.
Stay passionate and never excuse yourself for it.